What's going on? This your boy, Chris Simmons, coming to you with another podcast episode. And as always, I'm with my fabulous co-host, Miss Tiffany Chanel. What's going on with you, girl? How you doing?
Hi, I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Been a busy day and just wrapping it up for the night on my work. So I just been chilling. And actually today I bought an acoustic guitar. So I'm like teaching myself guitar now.
Huh?
So I picked up a new hobby. So I was like working on that today and just doing my usual go abouts, my meditation, working, and helping out any way I can in my community. So that's pretty much it for me and my Thursday.
Yeah, no, I hear you. I hear you. And I know you've been pretty busy lately. For those of you who were expecting a what would you do Wednesday, I guess I have a little something to tell y'all, man. So Miss Tiffany was not able to come on the What Would You Do Wednesday live session on Wednesday. And I was like, oh, that's cool because she was doing her thing. She told me how she had to get up early. So funny story is I was gonna do it. So I was supposed to be able to get on this live session and still continue the show, but I happened to fall asleep right as we were about to get on. Like literally, it was 10 o'clock. It was an hour before. I was like, all right, I got my scenarios. I had everything ready too. I was salty, bro. I had my scenarios. I had my shirt on, my hat on, my chain. I was ready to go, man. And it was an hour before, and I was like, you know what? I was gonna lay down, just kind of chill out for a little bit, just kind of wait for 11 o'clock to roll around. And I don't know how I just fell asleep. I was looking at something on my phone and I was just gone, bro. I was gone. I didn't wake up till like 1:30. I was like, I woke up and I was like, did I really just sleep past 11? I was like, bruh. So that's what happened, but it's all good. It's all good. We're gonna, continue to pick it up next week. It's no big deal. I was like just shook. I was like, did I really just do that? You know what I'm saying? Because I was excited. I was ready to come on and do the live, and then all of a sudden I just fall asleep. But it happens. Sometimes your bodies get tired. But you know what? We're gonna we're gonna have one next week. And one thing I did do was set an alarm for 10:50. So in case that ever happens again, I got an emergency alarm. So that way I don't sleep through. Because if I'll tell you what, if Miss Tiffany, if Miss Tiffany was about to get on, if Miss Tiffany happened to still be waiting on me, I would have felt really bad. But luckily, I mean, she couldn't even be on, so it was all good. But anyway, man, I'm just glad I remembered to get on for 11 o'clock for this podcast, man, because that would have been devastating if I would have did the same thing. But it's all good. We're here now. Yeah, so we just about to rock it out, baby. This weekend for me, I know the weekend's coming up. I'm going back to yoga and I'm going to try a different class. So last time I did hot yoga, I'm going to do hip hop yoga. So I'm going to see what that class is about. Hopefully, I'm expecting it to be a little upbeat because hip hop. I'm interested to see what type of hip hop music they play in there. I don't know how deep it's gonna get. I don't know if they're gonna go all the way back to Tupac or Biggie. I don't know if the yoga studio like that, but we will see when I get there on Saturday. So I'm gonna do it this Saturday, and I'm gonna tell you how it is. I always tell you about my yoga, but it's very fun, very relaxing, really chilling. I'm telling y'all need to get hip to this stuff. It is really good. So that's what's going down this weekend. And man, I'm ready to get into it. Miss Tiffany, you ready to get into it?
Yes, I'm ready.
All right, bet. All right, so this is how we're gonna start off, man. So the topic for tonight is taking home court with you. Taking home court with you. So when we think of home court, right, we think of home court advantage. There's something called a home court advantage, and what a court advantage is when basically the ball is in your favor. You know what I'm saying? Like let's say you're playing basketball. Basketball, there's something called home court advantage. Football, baseball, any sport you play, there's something called a home court advantage where all the fans is on your side, right? All the momentum is in your favor. Why? Because everybody is cheering for you. You know what I'm saying? Like mentally, it's good because you don't have the crowd rooting against you. You have the crowd supporting you. You have all these fans supporting you in your home stadium. And one thing that I realized, I don't know if you guys have watched the NBA finals like I have. And one team I remember watching was the Milwaukee Bucks. Okay. They got a really tall player, about 6'11", 7 feet. His name is Giannis Antetokounmpo. I'm sure he's a fan favorite. I know I got a roommate who is in love with that boy. He follows him basically anywhere he goes. He's like me with LeBron. Like he follows his player wherever he goes. So he's very supportive. And one thing that I remember when I was watching Giannis in the finals, he's a phenomenal player, not knocking him. Very athletic, very versatile. He's basically a 7-foot point guard who can just dribble up the ball and dunk it on anybody. But one thing that I realized when he was in the finals was his free throws were a little suspect. And I'm sure y'all remember watching him in the finals, bro, missing all them free throws. I think it was started by the Brooklyn Nets. So I think it was the second round of the playoffs where they noticed how he cannot make a free throw. Like he was airballing them. He was taking 10 seconds, right? And I think what happened was, this is what happened with Brooklyn, and it happened with the rest of the teams in the playoffs that he played against. So when he was at their home stadium, what they would do is they would count 1, 2, 3. Like they was getting in his head mentally, right? And you would notice how it was getting to him because he'd be airballing, he'd be missing free throws, you know what I'm saying? He'd be frustrated, right? Because I noticed how when he was away, when he was in those environments where the crowd was against him, his free throw percentage was significantly worse. But when he was at home, I remember this in Game 6 of the finals. So when they won the championship, the game they won the championship is when he shot one of his best free throw percentages I've ever seen. Now people were saying he was already a good free throw shooter, but I didn't see that, right? So when he was playing away, his free throw percentage was significantly worse. But when he was at home, it was a lot better. You know what I'm saying? And one thing that I've realized is that when he was at home, right, he had the crowd on his side. Nobody was making noise. Nobody was getting in his head. The crowd was supporting him throughout the way. That's why his free throw percentage was a lot better. And one thing about the free throw shot, a lot of people are like, well, how is it that these NBA players have hard times making free throws, right? But one thing about the free throw shot is it's mental, right? It's you versus the basket because it's not like anybody, it's not like defenders on you or anything like that. It's a free throw. It's a free shot. But the difficult part is that you got to concentrate on the shot. And it's hard to concentrate, especially when you're away, when you got people like screaming at you, jumping up and down, calling you names and everything like that. You know what I'm saying? So the point I'm trying to make is when you go into a different environment, you have to be able to take control of your mentality, right? You have to be able to still keep your composure, even though you may not be in your environment, right? Because one thing that I've noticed when you travel to different environments, let's say you travel outside of your home, right? Physically, you are still the same. Okay, nothing changes for you physically, right? It's all mentally, right? Giannis was still the 6'11", 7-foot dude, 260-pound boy of muscle, right? He was physically still the same player, but mentally it was tough, right? Mentally, his mindset was, oh my goodness, like I got people, like I got all this pressure. These fans are cheering against me, and I don't know what to do, right? That's why his free throw percentage was significantly worse because of his mentality, right? And so a lot of you guys are going to have to be in those situations. A lot of you guys are going to be in environments where the ball is not in your favor, right? And this doesn't have to apply to sports. It can apply to work, right? You may have to give a presentation somewhere else. You may have to travel to a different state and you have to give a presentation in front of people you don't know. But what you have to do if you want to be able to perform at your best, you have to tell yourself, I belong here. You have to own the space that you're in. Because if you don't own the space, then you won't perform at the highest level. The one way to be able to make people respect you in different environments is if you dominate your performance. That's why if you watch sports, I bring up sports because it's a great example. If you watch sports games and you watch LeBron James or even Kobe Bryant, MJ, Kevin Durant, if you watch, famous athletes, the reason why the crowd gets quiet sometimes is because they're dominating. The crowd is like, oh my goodness, like they just dominated us. We can't say anything. That's how you got to take ownership in a different environment. You have to be able to dominate. You have to be able to tell yourself, I belong here and this is my space and I'm taking ownership and nothing is stopping me, right? So one thing you got to do when you're in a situation, when you're in an environment that you may not be familiar with, or you may have people that you're not familiar with, right? You have to tell yourself, one, you belong here, right? It shouldn't matter where you are, because physically, like I said, you're not changing. You're not a different person. The only thing different about you is your mentality. Your mind might be telling you, oh, this is, look at these people, like they don't like you, they don't respect you. Oh, you look at you, you're out of place. You don't belong here. Your mind might be telling you all this stuff, but in your mind, you have to be able to filter that out and tell yourself, I belong here. This is what I do. This is natural to me, right? This is what I do all the time. When I was, giving presentations in school, right? I would have to speak in front of people that maybe I didn't necessarily know all the time. And it wasn't really the physical space. It wasn't the room that I was in. It was just the people who I was afraid of. That's what it is. Sometimes it's not the space, it's not the area that you're afraid of, it's the people that you're afraid of, right? Because you're afraid of being judged. You're afraid of somebody saying something to you that may hurt your feelings. But you cannot look at it as, oh, if I do this, if I give a presentation, if I perform here, you cannot make up scenarios in your mind about what people might say about you. You can't be worried about, oh, people gonna make fun of your speech, fun of your outfit, fun of your look, right? You can't be thinking those things because that's going to hinder your performance. And one thing that I would do when I had to give presentations in school, even though I would get nervous, right? I would get nervous. I'd be like, "Ooh, what's this teacher going to think? What are my classmates going to think?" I had to understand that I had to own that space. I had to speak with confidence. I had to, be able to have that mentality where I can't worry about what they're going to think of me. I got to be able to deliver me. I got to be my authentic self, right? I got to continue to be me. And if they like it, then they're going to like it. If they don't like it, then they don't like it, right? So I had to continue to be able to speak with boldness, speak with confidence, knowing that I put everything into this presentation. I practiced, I went over it, and over, time after time. And I had to just be able to let it all out. You know what I'm saying? It's so easy, man. It's so easy, man. But sometimes it's difficult at the same time. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes it's easy to be able to believe in yourself, but sometimes it's not, right? Because you may be just so worried about what everybody else think, but that's what you cannot do. You cannot worry about what everybody else think. You cannot worry about what that person gonna say to you, right? Because if you do, if you spend your time nervous, if you spend your time worrying about what other people thinking, and you worried about that, then you're not going to be able to perform at your highest level. So you got to stay focused on your task. Stay focused on what is it that you want to accomplish in that environment, right? If you're going like with sports, like if you go, a lot of away teams have one mission. Their mission is to win the game, and when they focus on that mission, chances are they're going to win that game. If your focus is in business, you want to be able to deliver a presentation, you want to be able to make that sale. That's what you got to be focusing on. You can't be worried about what that person, what he gonna say, what she gonna say. You know what I'm saying? You can't be worried about, what they're gonna say about your outfit or nothing like that. You got to be able to go in there and execute on what it is that you want to accomplish. If you want to make that sale, that's what you got to be focused on. And if you focus on the task at hand, that's going to help eliminate all those distractions. That's going to eliminate all those voices in your head that's telling you you can't do this. You're not qualified. You're not certified. These people are not going to respect you. Your career is going to end, all that negative stuff. If you stay focused on the task at hand, you won't necessarily have to worry about all the external. You can just focus on the mission, right? You know what I'm saying? Because the top 1%, what I've noticed about the top 1% is they can operate in any environment, right? And what I've noticed is that, like I said, they don't change personally, but the only thing that changes is the environment. When you watch your favorite artist go on tour, right? You may have a favorite artist, Beyonce, Keisha Cole, Mary J. Blige, you know what I'm saying? When they go on tour, right, they still delivering at the highest level. Why? Because they're their authentic self, right? The thing that changes is maybe the people. Maybe they're in Atlanta one night, they're in Houston another night, they're in LA another night. You know what I'm saying? It's all different types of variety of people. Not everywhere you go, there's going to be the same people, right? I'm from Ohio. When I travel down to Georgia, it's different type of people down there. Ohio people is more like, northern people. Like, I don't know what that means, but I can just tell a difference in the accent when I go further south, because they don't talk like how I talk. They different. They country down there, right? We used to eat biscuits and jelly, but they may eat biscuits and gravy, right? They be eating grits. They different type of people. It's a different type of environment, but I don't change personally. You know what I'm saying? I don't change physically, but mentally I might be thinking like, ooh, that's a little different. Like, how do I approach that? You know what I'm saying? So back to what I was saying about your favorite artists, when they go on tour, they still going to give you the same quality, right? It don't matter where they are, because they know how to be their authentic self, right? Don't ever compromise who you are to get somebody else to like you. Because if you keep doing that, you're going to continue to shy away from who you really are. You know what I'm saying? You can never get people to like you for who you are if you keep putting on masks. If you keep trying to switch up your style just to please somebody else. You gotta, you gotta allow people to like you for who you are. And the way you like them for who you are is if you continue to bring your authentic self everywhere you go, and not worry about, oh, what people are going to say, because people are always going to judge you no matter where you are. People are always going to take judgment. People are always going to have something negative to say about you. But the way you get them to respect you is if you perform. You come there and dominate. You got to come there and dominate and have confidence in yourself. It's all a mental game. Everything that you do is mental, right? So you got to keep your mental in check, right? You cannot have fear. You cannot, you cannot travel with fear, because if you travel with fear, that's going to hinder your performance. So you have to eliminate all fear, right? And just be able to take ownership of your space, take ownership of what it is, and continue to dominate, right? And continue to dominate in your performance and own your space. Come on now.
Yeah, I like that. Own your own space. And I agree with a lot of things that you said. With confidence is definitely key. And adjusting your mental before you step into a situation. Your mentality has to be right. Guarantee your mentality has to be right in preparation, because your mind prepares your body for what you want it to do. If your mind is out of control, you have no control over it, your body is not going to perform at its best, like you said. And all I would want to say on this topic is confidence is key. When you believe in yourself, other people will believe in you. Long as you believe in yourself and what you're offering, what your purpose is for being in this new location. They have something that you want, that they want to see you. You have something that they want already. All you have to do is deliver it. And being confident and believing in yourself is the key to doing that. And also, I like to take it as, I look at going into a new environment as a challenge. It's like a new challenge for me to face, and I'm competitive with myself, because I'm fighting against myself. I'm my own teammate and opposer, because sometimes we self-sabotage, and sometimes you could just feel that self-sabotage coming on. You just got there, you all pumped up. Let's say I'm gonna use Chris's analogy at a game. You're all pumped up going to that away game, and then soon as you get to the doors of the stadium, just, oh man, it's like, look at the way these fans is looking at me. They're looking at me crazy, and you start thinking those things like, damn, like, what are they thinking? What are they thinking? And then you kind of separate yourself from being in competition with yourself versus being in competition with what they may want. Now you got to now you're in your mindset of trying to figure out what they want. What are they expecting from you? And you got to take away those expectations and those validations. And remember that the only thing that you're worried about is yourself. And yourself is what got you there. Your beliefs is what got you there. Your confidence is what got you there. Your talents, your skills, your gifts is what got you there. And you just keep replaying that. I like, me, I like my affirmations. So whenever I even get in a mindset, I reprogram my mind through my positive affirmations. When I step into a situation where I start getting a little fearful of the outcome, I'm like, oh no. That means if I'm fearful of an outcome, that means I have these things called expectations. You don't need to have expectations. Expectations is an attachment to an outcome. You're expecting this to happen, and only God knows the past, the present, and the future. We only know the present. So presently, we headed in this game. We got to perform in this game. We got to get these points on the board to win this game and show them what our team is really about. And how you do that is let go of expectations. Don't expect just because their court might be smaller than your court back at home that it's going to be, you're going to have more energy to run back and forth. You don't expect anything. When you just do things without expectations, you enjoy the outcome much more, whether you win or whether you lose. You just go in and say, we gonna rock it. And you say, positive affirmations in your head. Like, I got this. I'm a winner. I beat such and such. That was the hardest team ever to beat. We beat them. This is my first time here. I want to try the food. Forget what these fans talking about. I want to try the food. I like food. After this game, I can't wait to get some food. You done redirected your mind. And now, you're looking forward to something versus expecting something. It's better to look forward to something after the situation that you're in. Most people will say, oh, I got to win this game. And they put so much pressure that they can't even focus on the game. They keep focused on the win. That's like, instead of focusing on getting a job, you focus on the amount of money you're going to make. You ain't never going to get there. You don't know how to get there. And your mind is confused. You're focused on the outcome and not the actual action. So staying in action, stay in action. That is the most important thing to do, is stay in action. And make sure you cleanse yourself of expectations. Expectations is just going to drown out self-belief. Expectations are tied to worries, fears, and doubts. Love yourself. You love with no expectations. You got to love yourself with no expectations. Don't expect those people to support you. Don't expect them to come with you with open arms. Don't expect the love. Just give the love. Okay? Give the love. They come at you and they saying boo, boo. I'm saying, I'm going to raise the roof. I'm going to say, okay, all right. All right, I feel the vibes. You stay in your own vibe, stay in your own frequency, keep your teammates up, because if you the star player and they see the star player sweating, oh my God, they gonna be sweating. They're like, man, we was rooting for you. We was passing the ball to you. You the one got us over here. You can't be sweating. You helped bring us up. You showed us stuff that we couldn't do. Now, you got to keep that going. And plus, you have to look at it like, it's always your time to shine, no matter where you are. It's always your time to shine. If you are called to the stage, shine bright. It's okay to shine. Light and love is what the world needs. And if they're throwing stones and throwing darkness at you with the negativity, the insults, and the words, you send light right back at them. It's like, man, I'm just glad to be here. Like, oh, you suck. Man, I'm just glad to be here. Thanks for coming out. You hit them with that. That didn't affect you. You let them stay with their negativity. Let it stick to them. You don't absorb it. And that's how you stay in that self-belief. You won't have any fear. If you're fearful walking through and you're just like, man, I don't know. And someone says something, just have the positive light rebuttal, love and light. Have that rebuttal. I'm just happy to be here. I just stepped off the bus. I just got here. Can't wait to get my feet wet in this arena. See what we doing tonight. Thanks for coming out. That's it. That's it. It's simple as that. Stay true to yourself. You didn't have no problem with that man. You don't want to insult him back. You didn't really think about insulting him when you came to that game, So why would you display that energy back? And even if you don't say it back, don't absorb that energy to where now you feel down about yourself and you're replaying what that person has said. Because like Chris said, it's negativity in every situation you go in. Sometimes it's even at your home court. You're going to be faced with a lot of different obstacles, and life is full of challenges, and they don't stop coming. They just get easier. They get easier because you done faced that challenge 20 times ago. He's like, I don't been used to being insulted. Okay, what's next? I already know how to handle this. I done had too many times where I hit that brick wall and I didn't know what to do. And I either froze up or I retaliated. I done did something crazy, threw me off my game. But now you're at a position to where you're like, been there, done that, so use all the stuff that people see as obstacles for you. You swimming through it. You just moving, ducking and driving, just going, and it's like, it's not phasing you. And being the fact that you have grown to that, you're going to face harder challenges. And when you get those harder challenges, you remember those past lessons that you learned. And the key to it is believing in yourself and always displaying love and light. You can feel your emotions and understand them, but understand that love conquers all. You want to be a winner, love is the answer. Love is the answer. Spread love. Spread love in what you do. Spread love to the people that support what you do. Spread love to the people that don't support what you do. And spread love to people that is trying to do what you're doing. Everybody deserves love. All of them. The supporters, the non-supporters, the up and coming, all of them. And you show love to yourself by adding it to your craft, your purpose, your goal, your strategy. You put your heart and soul into that. And when you put your heart and soul into it, nobody can't touch it. That's like when you make something, it's beautiful. Somebody try to come back to it, like, pop their hand. Don't you touch that. I got this set up just right. Just leave it like that, and that's how it is. No one can't touch you. You untouchable. You become untouchable when you love yourself unconditionally. And you don't tag on any expectations to it. They love me or they don't love me. Either way, I love me. I did the best I can. Because God even tell you, I'll do all that you can and I will carry you. Do you know? And it's the same. It's same as goes in your purpose or your career, in your relationship, or whatever it is that is important to you that you're putting your heart and your passion into. It could be a hobby. Whatever it is, go hard. Go hard or go home, right? And when you go hard, all it is a vibration of energy. You feel good. That's how you do your best, when you feel good. You do your best when you feel good. So make sure you always feel good. Naturally. You feel good naturally. And people normally feel good naturally through what? Love. Love makes everybody happy. Okay, when somebody gives you love, you just be like, dang, you start even questioning what I do to deserve this. Be alive. Everybody deserves love. Okay. And loving. And if you feel down and you got your team members, you're going to do a presentation, you got a project and your team wasn't carrying their weight, and you go up there, you carried the project. Don't go up there with the attitude that you did all the work. Don't go up there with the attitude that your teammate do nothing. Don't go up there with that attitude. You show love regardless. They're going to come to you like, man, what can we do now? You might have landed the deal. Now they want to help out because they saw you went and took it in your own hands. And then now people are asking questions. Well, how did this come? Hey, since you helped with this, and then they're going to say, well, no, I didn't really help with that. He kind of did that all on his own. We kind of just did this part. Oh, wow, he did this all by himself. Boom. Now the attention's on you. Attention's on you. You don't have to worry about discrediting someone for you to be valued. Your value is in your stance. It's in your heart, your passion, how you stand for yourself and your own values. That's where it relies. That's your value, not something that someone else gives you. Because you're going to be appreciated either way. Your team didn't appreciate you, but the people that you were presenting your project did. And they noticed your work. It's only a matter of time before you start outshining people in your environment. And sometimes it takes you to another environment. You think you can't shine there. But if you shine over there, you can shine in the new place. Some people are afraid to move, moving out the way. They're afraid to stand alone and shine by themselves. They think they might need a team. But with that last example, the team didn't even help him out. He really did it by himself. He was in the mindset thinking he had a team. It just made him feel good to know that he had some support to call on, right? He felt good about it, but in the end, they didn't really help him. He did it on his own. Everybody has the power to shine bright on their own. So when you can shine bright on your own, it takes you to dim your own light. No one can dim your light. you have to grant them access to that, which is granting them access to you.
Ooh, that was good. That was good. I like that right there, Miss Tiffany. That was good. And one thing that I wanted to add is I know I've always referenced this verse, man, because I feel like this is powerful, man. Joshua 1-9, where literally it talks about be strong and courageous. Do not be frightened or do not be dismayed, for the Lord your God is with you wherever you go. Okay. So, God will ask you. So, like in this case, with Joshua's case, he told Joshua, hey, I want you to go over here and be able to take the Israelites to this land, to this conquered land, right? And Joshua's thinking, why are you calling me, Lord? Why would you want me to go over there? I don't even know what's over there, right? You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you will get called to go over to places that you are not familiar with, right? You may get called up to do things that you may not be comfortable with, right? You may get called up to be promoted at your job, and you don't know you don't know what to do. You may be called in a leadership position, but you may not know because you've never done that before, right? There's going to be times where you're going to be put in certain situations that you have never ever thought you could do. But it don't matter. You should not listen to your fear, but you should listen to God, because God knows who you are. He's the one that created you, right? He's the one that's created you to be able to carry out his purpose for your life. And so why are you scared? Because you've been called to go into a position where you may not necessarily think you qualify, right? You have to take, like I said, you got to, be able to say that I belong here. I belong in this position. Don't miss out on opportunities just because you scared of trying to move ahead of somebody and you worried about them being jealous of you. That's a lot, you know what I'm saying? Or you worried about them hating on you, calling you bougie because you moved up in your life and they still down there, right? Or you afraid to walk out in public because you afraid that somebody gonna judge you for who you are. You know what I'm saying? It could just be like a trip to the store. You may be trying to spend 30 minutes to an hour trying to get ready to go to a store you never been to, right? You know what I'm saying? You trying to look a certain way for somebody, but it shouldn't be like that, man. Wherever you go, and I'm not just talking about school, I'm not just talking about, in sports arenas or work, but I'm just talking about I'm trying to talk about in public in general, man. Some people are scared to go out in public because they're afraid of what others might think of them. They're afraid of being judged because it's not comfortable, man. You know what I'm saying? I, I I'm black, okay? I'm always outnumbered. Everywhere I go, I'm going to be in a situation that I'm not familiar with, especially if you go to nicer restaurants or anything like that, or the nicer schools, right? You're As a minority, I'm going to be outnumbered, right? But I cannot let the fact that I'm the only African American there stop me from doing what I got to do. There are times where I handle business, right? When I'm on my job, there are times where I'm the only African American in that room. Okay, a bunch of corporate white folks. Okay, I'm just gonna say it, a bunch of white folks who is in there, and then someone probably thinking, what is he doing here, right? As much as we want to say, oh, everything good now, no, there's still people who have those views of like, why is somebody different in this room? Why is he about to get this presentation? But you cannot let that stuff get to you. You cannot let the fact that you look the part, get into your mind and make you feel less than. You have to be able to you have to be able to use that voice that God gave you, use that gift that God gave you to be able to perform at the next level, right? And so you cannot be afraid of what man can do to you. You cannot be afraid of that. You cannot be afraid to step out in public and be able to experience something different just because you don't look like everybody else. You have to be able to own your own space, and have confidence, and do not be afraid. Just like God was telling Joshua, do not be afraid, of going out and being able to conquer this land. So do not be afraid when God calls you to be in a certain place in your life. Do not be afraid to take that calling. Do not be afraid of being judged. Do not be afraid of what people are going to say, because God is going to take care of you anywhere you go. Everywhere you go, God's going to take care of you. He is going to give you the strength and the equipment that you need. He's going to fully equip you to be able to dominate in whatever it is you want to do, right? And it's easier said than done, but you have to be able to switch that mindset. You have to be able to turn your negative mindset into a positive mindset, right? And one shocking statistic that I found today, I was actually doing some research today, and I found that 80% of our thoughts are negative. I'm gonna say that again. 80% of our thoughts are negative. How is it that 80% of our thoughts are negative? How is it that that leaves only 20% of our thoughts to be positive? How is it that the majority of our thoughts are negative? Because we don't believe in ourselves. That I feel like that's the number one reason. We don't believe in ourselves. We don't believe in our abilities, and we always judge ourselves, and we always try to compare ourselves to what other people are doing. If we don't perform this way how somebody else performs, then we think that, oh, it's not good enough. We're always looking to compare ourselves to other people, and that's not the case. You sometimes you may be called to do something, you may not do it like everybody else do. You may be in a leadership position, right? You may have a different personality, you may have a different swag. You know what I'm saying? You may bring something different to whatever that environment is, but you cannot be worried just because somebody else did it some way that you can't do it your own way. You have to be able to, like I said, you have to be your authentic self. You have to be able to take ownership, and you have to be able to trust in your abilities, because if you don't trust in your abilities, then you won't perform at that high level, right? So just continue, just switch that mindset, turn it from negative to positive. That's really it. That's all you have to do in order to perform in a different environment, in order to be able to walk boldly and wherever it is you go. You have to be able to switch that mindset, because if you don't think about positive things, if you don't think about what the possibilities could bring out of your situation, the possibilities that can come out that environment, then you're not going to be able to reach your maximum level of potential. You're just not. I mean, that's really it, right? And that's it. I mean, it ain't really no complicated stuff. It's really not complicated, right? Just like I was saying earlier with the free throws, right? It's not the fact that you different. It's not the fact that your body shrunk or anything like that. It's not that you physically different when you step at the line. It's not anything physically different when you step into an environment. It's just your mentally, you are going through something. Mentally, your mind is literally shutting down. And so if you keep thinking that way, then you won't be able to, like I say, you won't be able to perform that way. So switching that mindset, thinking of what could possibly happen, what could I gain from this experience? What can I gain from going to Texas and delivering a presentation? What can I gain from going to Houston and being able to take a CEO position at a company that I've never worked for in my life? What could you gain? If you start thinking about what you could gain versus what you can lose, then I'm telling you, your career is going to go to the next level, and you're going to continue to outperform and outshine people, right? You know what I'm saying? And it's not going to go away. Like the criticism and the negativity, is not going to go away. There's going to be people, like I said, there's going to be people who are going to hate you even more. That's one thing that I respect about Tom Brady. For those of you who are sports fans, Tom Brady, got 7 Super Bowl rings. People do not like that man. No matter where he go, there's people that like him and there's people that don't like him, right? There's people that like him for who he is and his accomplishments, but there's people that don't. And so you want to get to that level to where you performing so well and wherever it is you go, that you want people to be talking about you, bro. If you ain't got no haters, you ain't popping. I'm just gonna know if you go in a situation, you ain't got no haters, you ain't got people rooting against you, you ain't popping. Because what I've noticed is that fans root against people who are good, who are talented, because those are the people they try to target, right? When they go to their home arena, like when LeBron James traveled to a different arena, right? Them people are booing him the loudest. Why? Because he the best player, right? Because if they can get in LeBron James' head, that's going to affect the team because he's the leader of the team. And so you want to be able to travel to a place where people are targeting you. You should embrace that. Why? Because they know that you good. You have developed yourself to be so good, so dominant in that environment where people are just targeting you. That's what's gonna happen. If you don't want to have haters, then just be average. If you don't want to be, if you don't want to have haters, then just keep doing what you're doing. Just keep living that average life. You know what I'm saying? But if you want to live that phenomenal life, if you want to make a name for yourself, the haters gonna have to come with it. It's gonna be, you're gonna travel to places. People are gonna be like, oh, look at him. Like, oh my goodness, like he's no good. He don't belong here. That's how you know you're making it. You know what I'm saying? That's how you know if you're on track to greatness, you're gonna have haters. It's like Tom Brady. People don't like him because he got 7 Super Bowl rings. Steph Curry, they didn't like him when he was winning championships, right? That's just how it's gonna be. But he's just achieved a level of excellence where people are jealous of him, are envy of him. And you know, when he goes outside of his home arena, right? People are gonna boo him. Why? Because he's that great. So I challenge you. I challenge you, wherever you go, people should know you. Everywhere you go, people should target you. Why? Because they know that you coming to get them. You coming to compete. You coming to eat. You coming to tell them that this is my space. You know what I'm saying? So that should be your challenge, bro. That should be your challenge. Like I said, if you ain't got no haters, you ain't popping. So that's just what's gonna come with it. You know, when you travel outside of your home, you travel outside of your place, you're gonna have people that's gonna be like, man, get them out of here. We don't want them. Why? Not necessarily because you did anything wrong. It's because you're just that dominant. That they are scared of you. They are fearful of you. They don't want you in their environment. Why? Because they're just scared of you, and they're scared that if you go in there, you're gonna take something that's theirs. So I'm telling you, get on that level. And if you get on that level, dog, you just got to know how to manage it. You just got to know how to filter it out and know that, hey, I'm not worried about you. I'm worried about the task at hand. I'm worried about what God has called me to do, and I'm going to continue to dominate.
Well, that's good. And I know what I feel about haters. I always say haters are just fans that lack courage to tell you. You know, that's all they are. Haters are your number one fans. They support you the most because they are your word of mouth. They are spreading any and everything they possibly can about you. And a lot of times it goes to the right ears. And the haters, that's why I love Nikki saying the haters are my motivators because they continuously support you. They know everything that you're doing. They always know what you're doing. That is a supporter. Okay. They're just a fan that lacks courage to say, hey, I really like everything you do. And I think you're absolutely perfect. But instead, I'm going to nitpick and find little things that's wrong with you. You know, when you have understanding and clarity on a situation, it makes it easier to move through it, you know, get past it. So always look for understanding and clarity anytime you're facing what you think is a hater or, you know, even just not even a hater, a disgruntled fan, whatever it may be, or what we like to call enemies, which we know enemies are not real. Enemies are just an illusion of all the wrongdoings we've done to people. You know, enemies is something that we create in our minds. We think you ever see somebody that's like paranoid, oh my God, everybody's after me. No, you probably did some messed up stuff, okay? You don't have a clear conscience. And the idea of enemies come from an unclear conscience. So when you're going to new environments and you're seeking negativity, negativity is coming your way and you see it coming your way, you can analyze it when you have understanding and clarity of what it is. Is it a projection of that person's feelings? Is it a hater, a fan who lacks courage? Or is it really just myself thinking, you know, they are after me, they're enemies to me because I wasn't up on my game. You know, I feel like they could see through me and that I didn't do what I was supposed to do. I didn't bring my A game, you know? So you got to analyze the situation. And that's the way to be in control of your mind. Understanding and clarity is the best thing for our minds because confusion leads to fear, worry, and doubt. The last thing anybody wants to do is be confused about where they are or why they're there. So always have that clarity and understanding of what you're meant to do and why you are there to do it. And when you seek that clarity, it's easy to stay in that high vibration and that mentality to strive. You know what you're there to do. You know who you are and what you came there to be. Just focus on why you're there and what you do best. when you are in that new environment, and you filter out all the things that you may not understand through clarity. You sit back and analyze it by feeling, not by thinking. You feel it out. How does this make you feel? You know, people always wonder why people ask that. Why does it make you feel? Because way something makes you feel has a lot to do with your morals, your beliefs, and your soul. Some people don't feel no type of way about something someone feels greatly about. It all depends on you. So when something makes you feel some type of way, you got to tap into that. Oh, let me gain understanding and clarity on this situation. And you go by your gut feeling. Sometimes your gut feeling tells you, oh my God, this is amazing. And then sometimes your gut feeling can tell you, oh no, this feels weird. I don't like this feeling. And that's a key sign that you need to analyze that situation for what it is and gain that understanding and clarity. And as soon as you get understanding of what it is you're feeling and you're not confused, as soon as you don't understand something, gain that clarity. Ask God for guidance, ask for clarity, help you understand this. Pray to God. I always pray to God for strength and wisdom. I always say, God, please bless me with strength and wisdom to make it through any obstacle that I may face today. I always start my day like that. And it's good to have that mentality. You're now training your mind that you can make it through any obstacle. You got to start there. Let's start there. You can make it through any obstacle that you face through clarity and understanding. And through clarity and understanding, you raise your vibration back to love. First, you're like, that's why I said, feel your feelings, feel the feeling. Once you feel it, you can then gain understanding. And then you go right back up to your high vibration. Because now you feel good. You done got the answer right on the test. You was wondering, this was a sticky situation. And now you done got the answer right. You got the clarity. You understand what it is. Confusion is what makes us scared when we're confused or expecting something. Those are the two things that creates fear and worry and doubt and concerns in us and negative thoughts. We have to be able to filter out those things through understanding and talking to God. God is the key to understanding. You know, we ask for knowledge and wisdom all the time, because that's how he gets our messages to us, through our knowledge. The more knowledge you gain, the closer you are getting to God and your destiny, because he sent you on a mission. We got to collect knowledge. Like, you know, people collect bricks to build a house. You know, you're trying to build a solid foundation for your life. You got to use those lessons as those bricks to stack up to create that house. And you got to learn. Lessons don't just stop because you having fun. Lessons don't just stop because it's your celebration. You always got to look for more. There's no such thing as coincidences. When you can look at life and not under, you know, the stereotypical lens that TV, any type of media, any of the outside world gives us, that's all an illusion, because how you feel about something is the truth. That's the truth. Not what you see and hear and all this other stuff. How you feel about it is the truth. And when you don't know how you feel about something, it's confusion. And that's a lot of things that we face in new environments and new situations. So gaining that understanding and that clarity through talking to God, asking for strength and wisdom and knowledge will bring you there and keep you there.
Amen. Amen. All right. All right, Miss Tiffany. All right, Miss Tiffany. And then as we wrap up the show, hopefully y'all took something valuable out of this, man. Because I'm telling you, man, life can be uncomfortable, man. Life is all about how you react, right? So you can't always be comfortable in your environment, because there's going to be times where you're going to have to move. You're going to have to be able to be comfortable being uncomfortable. And I know I say this all the time, but it's true, right? That's how the top 1% can operate anywhere. You know what I'm saying? They operate at uncomfortable situations. That's how you make yourself versatile. You cannot be one dimensional. That's one thing I've learned. You cannot be one dimensional. You can't be this person where it's like, okay, everything's got to be perfect, right? I got to have the perfect setup. You know, it's got to be in this area. It's got to be this climate. Like, if you like that, you one dimensional, right? You cannot be that one dimensional, right? Because one dimensional people cannot make it. One dimensional people do not advance and excel and achieve greatness because they can only have it a certain way, right? You got to be able to learn how to operate in anything, whether it's rain, snow, like if it's cold, hot, right? You know what I'm saying? You get the point, right? You got to be able to be versatile, right? That's what makes people. That's what makes the 1% the 1%. Is that the that mentality says I can do anything. I can perform at any circumstance. So in any circumstance, you got to bring that dog. You got to bring that mentality that tells you I belong here. That it shouldn't matter what the air, what the location is. It shouldn't matter the climate. It shouldn't, and especially shouldn't matter who's watching. It shouldn't matter who's watching because the main person who's really watching is the man above. It's God, man. He sees you, man. He's proud of you. If anything else, God is always going to be proud of you. No matter if people, want to judge you or bash you after your performance, or may not think you, are qualified or certified or whatever, just know that God is always going to be proud of you. And if you realize that, you won't get bothered by anybody's opinions. You won't get bothered by who's talking to you. You won't get bothered by where you're at. The only thing that's going to matter is fulfilling the purpose, and the reason why you are there in that environment is to be able to go out and dominate and be able to go and be able to do what God has called you to do. So if you realize that, I'm telling you, you're going to make yourself a more versatile person. You're going to be three-dimensional instead of one-dimensional, right? You're going to be able to, blend, be able to do whatever you can do to be able to make yourself successful. That's all I got. Miss Tiffany, you got anything else you want to add before we wrap it up?
I just wanted to say that to all the listeners out there that being optimistic is key, keeping an open mind and an open heart. And I also want to tell our listeners to go check out my website. It finally launched. It's angelofhappiness.org. And I offer coaching, mentoring, love and light sessions, and also community volunteer work. So if you want me to visit your community and you have any projects coming up, where you can contact me is on my website, angelofhappiness.org, as well as speaking engagements and conferences.
Oh, wow. Okay. Miss Tiffany got it together. I see you, girl. I see you. That's what's up. Yes, ma'am. Yes. Yeah, definitely go check that out. Definitely go check out her page. Like she said, also go follow her on Instagram at Coaching You to Happiness. The number 2, right? It's the number 2. So Coaching You to number 2 Happiness. So that's where you're gonna find her. And also follow this podcast on Instagram at Disinfecting Your Life. That's no spaces, no capitals. Once again, you can get all the updates and all the information you need to be able to keep up with our podcast, and also subscribe to our YouTube. Follow us on our Facebook. We got a Facebook page now. So the thing is, it's called Disinfect Your Life. Like I said, they were tripping about the ing. So type in Disinfect Your Life. It's the same logo. So you will be able to see updates on there. Be able to interact with us on there as well. And also on Twitter is This In Your Life. So DISN Your Life 1. So if you want to follow us on Twitter, for those of you on Twitter, is DISN Your Life 1. And you'll be get updates on there as well. And also go check out our merch. The link is in the Instagram bio as well as our Facebook. And I'm going to show y'all Step Toward Your Purpose. I always wear it to the show. I just had a recent purchase not too long ago. I had one of my supporters actually support the link, and she bought one on Tuesday, this past Tuesday. So hopefully everything gets delivered to her. She is definitely one of my biggest supporters. So I'm thankful that she decided to cop one of these. So like I said, you interested in getting the merch, go ahead, check that out. We have shirts and hoodies at the moment, so I will be working on some more stuff, but as of right now, we got two different types of shirts, and then we got the hoodies, right? Because fall's about to come up, so if you need your hoodie, go get you one. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, that's enough of that. This your boy Chris Simmons alongside co-host Tiffany Chanel. We out. Take care,
Bye.
y'all. Y'all see. We'll see you when we see y'all. Peace.